Good evening, friends. Shavua Tov. Reading passages from Being Attention by Fran Shaw, page 37. Stay just exactly as I am, not to run away, to stay with the impression, to let the impressions come in. The attention is non-judgmental. Let it touch your state. There is an intelligence in me that can accept, like the sun. Doesn't care if an ant is crawling across the rug. The sun radiates with life. Being awake in this finer energy is like being in the shower. In it feels completely different. Everything else, the I that thinks, believes, feels this or that, all identification. There is no you. Either one is identified with the body, or one is in this flow, the true self. Michel de Salzman. That's a quote from Michel de Salzman, a top student of Gurdjieff. So this again is pointing to the magic wand of acceptance. Stay just exactly as I am, not to run away from how you are. Just stay with the impression, the sensations that come when we bring attention to our body, to our breath, to let these impressions come in. The attention is non-judgmental. Let it touch your state, right? However you are, not judging how you are, what you're thinking, how you're thinking, what your mind is doing, what your body's doing, what your feelings and emotions are doing. Just to bring the intention to that. Bring the attention to how you are in this moment. Let it touch your state. There is an intelligence in me that can accept. Right? Instead of trying to change how you are, just being aware, just really deeply observing without judgment. This is watching ourselves, observing ourselves. There is an intelligence in me that can accept, like the sun. It doesn't care if an ant is crawling across the rug. The sun radiates with life. This is a way I also explain God's love. The ant doesn't need to do anything to deserve the sunlight. The grass, the blades of grass, the trees, the plants. Nothing needs to do anything to deserve the sun's light. We are all worthy of the sun's light. The sun's light is unconditional. And just so, God's love is unconditional, shining down upon us at all times, without us needing to do anything to be worthy to receive it, just to turn towards and open our hearts to it. So there's an intelligence in us that is like that sun that can accept us as we are. That intelligence is the witness, the observer, that consciousness, the awareness of consciousness when it focuses on who we are and how we are in any given moment. Being awake in this finer energy is like being in the shower. In it, quote unquote, in it feels completely different. When you're in the shower, just like when you're in this finer energy, it feels completely different than out of the shower. Everything else, the I, the quote unquote I that thinks, believes, feels this or that, that's all identification. Identification means when we use our consciousness, we use our mind to identify with the I that comes through our thoughts. When I say I, and that I is Gabriel, I'm identifying with Gabriel and Gabriel's thoughts, or Gabriel's feelings, or Gabriel's beliefs. I'm identifying with the moment of this person, of this identity. That is what keeps me separate from this. That is separate self-consciousness. It keeps me separate from life. It keeps me separate from universal consciousness and unity unity consciousness. When you're in this finer energy, you're in that state of being. You're in a state of non-identification with the ego, with the separate self. And you're in a state of being, just like being in the shower. It's completely different than identification with the self, the small self, the ego, and the identity. There is no you. There is no you, really, this identity as a person with its memories that you're locked into, that you store and thus live by as that identity. There is no you. Either one is identified with the body, with the ego, with the identity, or one is in the flow. In this flow of being awake in the finer energy, this flow of the soul, this flow of the true self, of free consciousness, free awareness, non-attached awareness. Page 40, a new way of being alive, how to work. It is a renewal of attention, an activation of attention. Seeing helps this. Real work comes in silence. I come face to face with what I am. We need others, so something can pass. It's as if there is a current that needs to pass through all humanity for each individual cell to light up. We have a double mind. Passive mind, very strong, always gives answers in life. That is the prison. And silent mind, a mind that does not move. Only from silent mind can I understand what is needed. It is the unknown. A whole new way of being alive. Requires something from me. Activation. This life energy always flowing through would otherwise be lost. Not through wish, but through silence can I begin to understand what is needed. Abandonment of fears, of ideas, old mind. Always in question, am I? Return to silent mind. Enter the unknown. Beautiful. So how do we work? We work by renewing attention, an activation of attention. If you're ever in question of how to do spiritual work, this is saying renew your attention, activate attention. Attention is consciousness, consciousness on being aware, on connecting with awareness in this moment of what's happening. Seeing helps this, seeing ourselves as we are, witnessing ourselves in this moment, without judgment, non-judgmentally. Real work comes in silence. I come face to face with what I am. In silence, from that witness state, that observer, you see what you are. You truly can see what you are. You step outside and back and around, and you have this witness energy that is awareness. And you come face to face with what you are, a human being identified with thoughts, feelings, emotions, identified with the mind. We need others, something can pass. It's as if there's a current that needs to pass through all humanity for each individual cell to wake up. We need others to share in this state of awakening and awareness. We need others to reflect it so that we see it in ourselves and we see it in them, and that does something. There's some alchemical exchange that takes place that sets it even deeper into our consciousness so that we're not alone. Many times when we're in a state of a higher state of consciousness, but we're alone, then we can later on think that it was self-created, or it was imagined or fantasy or something like that. But when we are with others and reflecting in this consciousness, then there's sort of proof in that experience, and it cements it deeper into our consciousness. We have a double mind. We have the passive mind that we talked about, very strong, always gives answers in life. That is the prison. The passive mind is the eye, the eye of our thoughts that we identify with as our names, as our identity, in which we live through the world, constantly dictating and narrating whatever is going on in any given moment. If you observe yourself, even the slightest bit, you will recognize how the mind is constantly narrating what's going on. It's directing you what to do. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'd really like this. Oh, I would like that. Oh, I really don't want that. Oh, no, here comes that person. I don't want to talk to them. Whatever it is, it's constantly narrating what's going on, and that's the passive mind, the default consciousness of identification. And then there's the silent mind, a mind that does not move. It's just silent. It's silent, and that's where the observer is, that's where the witness is, that's where pure consciousness, unidentified consciousness is unidentified awareness. Only from silent mind can I understand what is needed. Only from this silent mind can we truly understand what is needed. It is there that answers come. And what is it? It is the unknown. It is the unknown. It is opening to the mystery, the great mystery of this very moment, the great mystery of each and every moment, the great mystery of existence, the unknown of where we are. Ask yourself again and again, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Where are we? Where are we? You cannot answer that to the core of your being. Only in the core of your being can you answer it. Otherwise, you're giving words that are identifications, that try to identify and label reality as you know it. I'm in this place. I'm in this continent. Oh, I'm on the earth. Oh, I'm in the solar system, or I'm in the universe. All of these are names and labels to try to label reality, but the truth is you do not know where you are. You can't ever know where you are. You are only here. And that I am here is the only thing you can actually know. I am here. I am. And that I am, when we open to that, it's the great mystery. And I am in the great mystery. I am the great mystery. That is the depth of consciousness. That's coming more towards something true, rather than all the identifications and the labels and the words we use. So it is the unknown, a whole new way of being alive. It truly is a whole new way of being alive. Everyone's walking around in identification, thinking that they're in this city, in this town, in this place, in this country, that they are this nationality or this religion, and that's how they move through the world, identified as that. But when you identify as the unknown, or like we've been saying previously, as creation, I am creation. When were you born? I was born with the Big Bang. That's my origin story. That's where I came from. That's my origin story. I've been moving through time and space ever since the Big Bang, the beginning of creation. That's a whole new way of being alive, a whole new way of walking on this earth and meeting people, interacting with other people. Requires something from me, activation, an activation of this soul consciousness, this spiritual consciousness. This life energy always flowing through would otherwise be lost, right? This subtle form of energy, this life energy, this spiritual light, divine light, chi, prana, right? All of these words to describe this life energy, this life force, always flowing through and always available to be tapped into. Otherwise, it would be lost. When we're identified, when we're in passive mind, then it's lost. God's love is lost on us. Even though it's showering and raining down on us, it is lost on us. Unless we activate our souls, activate our consciousness and awareness. Not through wish, but through silence can I begin to understand what is needed. Not through the mind wishing, not through the mind saying, I really wish I could be in this place. I wish, right? Not through wish, but through silence, through coming to silent attention, silent mind, silent witness, silent observer, embracing, opening to the life force, the energy. There we begin to understand what is needed. Abandonment of fears, abandonment of ideas, abandonment of all fears related to the I, and all ideas related to the mind. Old mind, that's what that is. That's old mind. Fears and ideas are old mind. Always in question. Am I? Am I? Am I aware? Am I here? Am I conscious? Am I? Am I present? Return to silent mind. Returning to the silent mind. Enter the unknown. Enter into this place of great mystery. Enter into the deep unknown of what you are, of where you are. Open to the beautiful mystery. The mystery liberates. The mystery is freedom. This is the place of freedom, the unknown. Our minds are so addicted to knowing because the identity, the body mind feels safe in knowing. Passive mind feels safe in knowing. But when we can let go of fears and ideas and enter into the unknown, there we find true freedom and consciousness and awareness. There is true freedom in the great unknown and the great mystery. The mystery of what am I? There, awareness begins to expand. Impressions expand. We start to feel this life force, this finer energy. We begin to breathe differently, feel our bodies, our noses differently. Begin to enter into a different way of living. A different world, out of the matrix, into true freedom. May it be so. Have a wonderful night.